You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 202.5, The Pacers Report with Mike Rich. A much happier edition this time.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Here we go, 3.9 seconds left. Pacers down 3. Halliburton's got the ball. Halliburton rises up. Tyrese Halliburton hits a 3 and is fouled.
You have got to be kidding me. Right in the grill of Giannis and right in front of Damian Lillard, who's on the bench right now with a chance for a 4-point play. You don't understand the degree of difficulty on this shot.
Mike Rich, there have not been many Indiana Pacers games in the regular season that have been that good.
I agree. I think that's probably the best game that I've seen in the regular season. I mean, it took me a while to get to see the whole game. I watched most of it on a flight last night back from Jacksonville, Florida, but luckily it was on TNT and was able to watch the first 3.5 quarters and listen to the last quarter, and then caught the last quarter this morning. So really, really exciting to see that after a rough last 4 games before that. So 3 games before that, the 2 losses to the Hawks and the loss to the Bulls. So
Well, we can say definitively that the Pacers are better with Tyrese Halliburton.
oh yeah. And we've said this before. I mean, that's what he's paid the big bucks to do.
That's right.
And a night like that, and the game that he had, and the shot that he had, we were texting earlier, and the only 4-point shot I remember in Pacers history is the Larry Johnson 4-point shot.
Don't bring that
three,
up.
Top of the key, and
Don't you ever bring this up again, Mike Rich. The worst call in NBA history.
Oh, absolutely the worst call in NBA history. But Giannis fouled him. There was no doubt.
No doubt.
There was no doubt. So the thing that I was listening to on the radio last night, because I couldn't see it, and I'm like, and they're talking about, well, he may have stepped out of bounds. I'm like, oh crap! I hope he didn't step out of bounds.
I think they were looking if he was stepping on the 3-point line.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really, really close. So yeah.
But yeah, I'm driving home from the airport. I'm like, just waiting for that call to come back, and it's already on the scoreboard, and it's 114 to 114, and I'm like, they're calculating, but it seemed like it just took forever for them to review it. And I'm like, how are they going to screw the Pacers? Is the only thing I'm sitting there thinking on my drive home. And I'm like, I had trouble sleeping last night. Now I understand why.
Oh, well, Halliburton struggled most of the game last night, but the Pacers played really well, I thought, most of the game. Of course, the Bucks had those 2 really fast, 10-point runs that really hurt the Pacers, but I thought the Pacers controlled most of that game.
I agree. I think there was a lot of back and forth, and they were up by 10, 11 or something like that at one time, and everybody was making their runs. But I really was impressed with the first quarter, that they just didn't let it get too far away from them, and were able to be competitive in that first quarter. We've had some really rocky starts that have really kind of hindered us in the past few games. And I thought last night they just kept it competitive through that first quarter. They brought the right energy. They were, that's the closest that they're going to get to playoff kind of experience during the regular season, is playing games like that, against a big time rival. And I'm excited for Friday, and I'm excited for Saturday. But if the recent history is any indicator, I'm more scared of the 76ers than I am Milwaukee.
That's for good reason.
Yeah.
But
I
so
mean, they're
now,
down. They're injured. Everybody's sitting for Philadelphia. We'll be completely healthy, and we'll lay a big goose egg. Just like, come on, come out and play. So
so now, the Bucks, the Pacers, and the Pistons are tied for fourth place in the East. The Pistons just keep coming. They seem like they're probably legit. Although their second half schedule is going to be really tough. I can't imagine them keeping pace with the Pacers and Bucks, but who knows? Anyway, all that to say, do you want it to be the Pacers and Bucks in the first round because these games are fun?
I I think that's if you look at the matchups in the East, and they're really kind of underwhelming except for that one. And
Well,
and I mean I think the West matchup seem more interesting, but I think if it's the Bucks and Pacers, I think that would be the highlight of the first round.
it probably would be.
Um,
By the way, the other options are Pacers, Pistons, and Pacers Knicks.
yeah,
The two biggest
yeah,
rivals in Pacers history.
yeah. Those could be interesting, and I think they're interesting for Indiana fans. But I'm thinking nationally, I think the Pistons are coming on though, and they're playing well. Cunningham is seems to be the real deal, and um, you know,
Yeah.
he's playing fantastic, and I would have never thought the Pistons would be sitting and tied
No,
for fourth.
no, I did not either. And remember at the beginning of the season, we had a podcast and I kind of put the teams in different categories. Um,
Hmm.
and it was the Celtics, Knicks, and 76ers, who I thought were the three teams that, if everything went right, and I did not expect things to go right for the 76ers, could be the top. And then I said I thought Cleveland, Indiana, and Orlando were the next three. Of course, Orlando's
Hmm.
had season crushing injuries, and they're still eighth.
Yeah,
If they can get healthy, who knows with them?
yeah,
But right now they are not as good as the other teams. Um, but Detroit, whoo, just kind of came from out of nowhere. I would say that with Atlanta too,
yeah.
especially the fact that Trey Young's their third best player. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
their young guys are so good.
Yeah, their future's bright. Their future's really
If they can
bright.
get rid of Trey Young somehow,
Yeah, and as
who
long as he
is
doesn't
just
come to the Pacers, he needs
who.
to go out west.
That's
Go
right.
play, go play for the Clippers.
That guy makes the worst decisions. For a guy who
uh,
averages 25 points and 11
yeah,
assists, man, he makes so many
yeah.
boneheaded plays.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I, I think last night. I mean, again, I think Halliburton made the shot that he needed to make, and I, and that I mean, just watching that, and I watched it over and over after I got to see it, and I was just like, and to have Reggie Miller in the building, and to do, and I mean, it was such
That
like
was
that
very
a Reggie
Reggie shot,
moment.
wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that was just so cool, and for the call to go our way, and for him to get up there and hit that big time free throw, and
Nothing but
I
net.
thought I thought the Bucks made a really bad call, and the challenge. I mean, in the moment, I guess you go for that challenge,
Of
but
course.
after you analyze it, you're like, the challenge probably hurt them because they couldn't take it out at half court,
You still have
and
to challenge that. You have
yeah,
to.
but if you have 3.4 seconds, you have Giannis, and you just have to toss it in for a foul or a 2-point shot. I
I don't
mean,
understand why they didn't inbound to Giannis at around half court, or at least try to.
yeah,
He can go up
yeah,
over anybody else.
yeah, yeah.
I just thought
And
that the play call wasn't very good.
no, I don't think the play call was good either. I thought Rick Carlisle's call, for that last shot was fantastic. I
Mike, I'm
mean,
going to be honest. When that shot went up, I said, "There's no way that's going in." It was the most off balance shot I've ever seen go in in the history of the NBA. I think it was
I mean,
nuts.
he was falling out of bounds. He was falling to the left, and and yeah, for that to go down, I mean, that will go down as one of the best shots in Pacer history. I
Well, at
mean,
least in regular season history, I can think of
yeah,
10
yeah,
playoff shots.
oh yeah, absolutely,
I can think of
yeah,
10 Reggie Miller playoff
oh
shots
yeah,
that
yeah,
were
oh
that.
yeah,
But as far as regular season games go, man,
yeah.
that was fun. That was
That
incredible. They
Oh, it was. I
by
had
the
a friend that got to his son's participated in the national anthem, and he's not a basketball fan, but he got to go to that game, and he was so he got a good game to
yes,
go
he
to.
did.
And I mean, the crowd was electric, and I heard afterwards that people are coming outside like it was the 90s, and they were honking their horns all excited about the Pacer
Nice.
win. And so just a huge lift after just a horrible road trip.
Yeah, really. But let's talk about all the heroics from last night because just about everybody had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Siakam, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Eric Neesmith only scored 9 points. He also only had 1 assist and 1 steal. But man, was that a huge steal and assist late
Huge.
in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, and one to Halliburton who went in for the dunk. Um, Nimhard didn't have a huge game, but made a huge three down the stretch.
Mhm.
Um, it- of course, Halliburton struggled most of the game, but still had 14 points and 10 assists. Thomas Bryant off the bench just continues to
Ah,
be
yeah.
just such a huge ad.
Yeah. I,
And go ahead.
yeah, I can't agree more. I think just totally unexpected.
Totally.
And to get that caliber of, I mean, and it's his energy, it's his the grit that he has, I mean,
The leadership, the
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 leadership,
professionalism.
yeah,
Y-
and he's excited to be in Indiana,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
he fits the chemistry so well with that team. And and when they I think when Carlisle has, the full toolbox of all of his role players, they're just a tough beat.
They
And
really are.
I thought McConnell, I figured he'd be the first one out of your mouth with,
We're
I think he
getting
had
there,
what,
Mike. We're getting
four
there.
steals, four steals, I think it was, wasn't it?
Hold on,
So,
Mike. We're getting there. I was saving it for last.
oh, okay.
There might be a song coming.
I hear it.
Ben Matherin also 17 points off the bench, hit some huge shots. Again, a bit of a ball stopper, a bit of
Yeah.
sticky hands, but man, that guy can score and again plays hard, plays with passion. Ben Shepard didn't play much last night, didn't have much of an impact, but another guy who's just a pro and brings it every night. And then we go to Mr. TJ McConnell, MCCONNELL McConnell. Man, what a game he had. They don't win that one without him.
No, no, they don't win that one without him. And again, I mean, he's that perfect role player, and the energy that he brings off that bench and that second team is just. I mean, I think anyone in the NBA would take him on their team.
No doubt.
I,
He had 4 steals. I think all four led directly to
yeah,
baskets, right?
yeah, yeah, yep. He
Seven
had some big
assists,
time.
12
Yeah,
points. He was 6 for 9 from the field. Again, in only 21 minutes. They got to find a way to get him more minutes, but because he just makes such a huge impact.
yeah,
But yeah, what a game, Mike. And
yeah.
the 3 losses in a row really didn't cost them anything as long as they play well down
No,
the
no.
stretch. They should end up at the 4 seed. Um, they have a
It's
favorable schedule down the stretch. Not easy by any means, but favorable. After after Milwaukee, you go to Minnesota, also a very tough one, and you got Dallas at home. They're done. 2 games against Brooklyn at home. They're done. Minnesota at home, the Lakers at home, and then you go to Washington. So a lot of games that you would think that would be easy, but the Pacers just don't seem to make those easy, do they?
No, and I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Brooklyn. I mean, hell, they beat the Celtics the other night. They smoked the Celtics, didn't they?
Yeah, I would sleep on. They beat the Lakers.
And and they came close to beating Cleveland last night.
Yeah,
I wouldn't sleep on any team that's that they play. I mean,
that's a good point.
I think, and I think every win is important because it's so tight. And I think you don't want Detroit popping up above you. I mean, you want to be in that top six. Top six, I think you're good, but four sounds a lot better.
It sure does.
Um,
Yep, top
and
six is the goal, but four would be the
yeah,
best place. I would like to avoid the Celtics until the final round.
yeah.
Let's see if maybe Cleveland can unravel a little in the first round. I don't know. They've never won a first round series with these guys, so who knows? But I don't know. I don't really want to play either Boston or Cleveland at this point. But
I'd like them to play each other, but that's not going to
that's
happen.
not going to happen until the finals. And Cleveland's now won 15 in a row again.
Dude.
They are just they're like the Pacers in 2005. They would have Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest. Nobody could even score on them. The team that had the number one seed, where I think they had 3 or 4 10-game winning streaks that season, where
Hmm.
they just didn't allow anything. So, by the way, Brooklyn is 1-9 in its last 10 games, Mike.
Okay. Well, and we just don't want them, picking
Yes,
up another win against the Pacer team, and
they are
I
playing for the number one pick.
the number one pick.
They want as many ping pong balls as possible.
So they really want. Is it? You think it'll be flag? It's going to be number one.
Yes, it does. I would imagine so. Yes, I can't
Yeah.
imagine it being anybody else,
Uh,
and that would be he's going to be a good one.
yeah,
By the
he
way,
is.
he's still not the best player in college basketball, Mike.
I saw Braden Smith won Big Ten Player of the Year.
That's right. He should be National Player of the Year. He probably won't be, but he should be. He
Where do
is
you think
he
he's
is
going to
the
make
best
the?
player. He is the most impactful player in college basketball, no doubt about it.
Do you think he's going to make it to the NBA?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not certain of it. He's got limitations for sure, but we'll worry about that 2 years from now because next year, Mike, they don't have any seniors, so
Wow.
and they're expected to all be back next year. So that's going to be fun.
That
Anyway, this is a Pacers podcast.
it is. It is. Well,
It is, but
we
it is also
very
March.
tangential.
It is also March, and
And
the Big
it's
Ten tournament
big.
is this weekend,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and I think we're done talking about the Pacers for now.
I can always talk Pacers, and
Yeah,
I do want to see them make a good run. I really want to see them beat the teams that they should beat. The ones that hurt are teams like getting beat by Chicago, getting beat 2 games by Atlanta. And, I mean, Atlanta played well, but I mean, we just and injuries are key to us too. I think.
yeah, but
You
they still
know,
should have. They
they
still should have
should.
won at least one of the. They probably should have won both of those games. The one in
Yeah.
Chicago was a little understandable, although the effort was so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hate to see that, but
You hate to see that, but I mean, we have the pieces. I mean, we have really good pieces to make it a good run in the playoffs. And um, honestly, I mean, I think if it comes down to it, if we're playing one of the top seeds, I think we probably have a better chance than the seed that we should beat.
well, they're going to be playing a really good team in the first round, no matter what.
Yeah,
Anyways,
they're all good too,
yes,
and
they
and
are.
that's the thing. I mean, every time you walk, I mean, you'll go into Philadelphia, and is Paul George playing?
No,
So
I
no Paul George, no Embiid. You got
probably. I don't know the
Mac
answer, but
Maxey plays probably, but
no, he hasn't been playing lately.
but the ones that are playing, I mean, they are professionals,
Nope.
and they're gonna come out and play. And
You ready for the 76ers starting lineup, Mike?
let's hear it.
Lonnie Walker the fourth, Quentin Grimes, Jared Butler, Justin Edwards, and Gershon Yabusele.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Wow. So you hear Butler and you think, oh no, Jimmy Butler? No.
No. That'd be Jared Butler out of Baylor. Very nice
Yeah.
player,
Yeah.
averaging
Yeah.
um, 8 points a game. Don't want to disparage Jared because he's a pro, but
Yeah.
this is not three future Hall of Famers or two and a half. So
Right.
if they don't win this
Right.
game, Mike, we need to have some discussions.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I think there's probably people in the streets of Philly that could make a better starting lineup.
Yeah. Well, by the way, Quentin Grimes is a very good player. I just want to
Okay.
point out that Quentin Grimes is a very
Yeah.
nice player. Scored 35 against Atlanta, and he's a nice
Mm.
player. Not, especially on a team with nobody else who is of note. So,
Yeah.
um,
I,
here's
I
the last.
thought it. I thought another good decision just over the last couple of games is the rest that was provided during. I mean, once they knew Chicago was going to beat them, they kind of backed off on the time, and I
Probably a good
think
idea.
that's where Milwaukee started looking towards Milwaukee pretty early. And I thought that was a pretty smart move on Carlisle's part to take the starters out, give them a little bit of rest from the game, and be ready for that next game since they were back to back with the Bucks. And they turn around and they do it again. They're going to go back to back and against 76ers, and then I think Saturday is when they play the Bucks. And you know I really hope we can at least split the series with the Bucks.
Last question, Mike. 18 games left in the regular season. How many do they win?
10.
10. That would be disappointing.
It would be, but that puts them what at 40. What's that make them?
Yeah, it would be 44.
44 wins.
Mm-hmm. That would be a little disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 46. 40. That would make
Yeah.
46. I think they're
So
going to get to
40.
50. I
You
think they're
think they'll
going to
get
get.
to 50?
I think they might go 14-4.
14-4.
I think they might.
Okay.
Really too bad they blew those three games. Really is.
Yeah, and I think that's what that's kind of where my gut's at right now. But I hope they're 14-4 or better. Um, they started out January so well,
Yeah.
and then
And they were playing
and
really well until Halliburton got hurt. And
yeah,
McConnell at the same time, we should mention. He also was out two of those games.
yeah, he's looking better. He looked really good last night.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
Chicago, I think he was still a little sore.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was not good. Oh, thanks so much, Mike, for your time, and go enjoy your family time.
all right. Well, you have a good evening.
You too. It's not
All
going to be as good as yours. Enjoy that.
right. Thank you.
You don't get these moments back.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Seconds. Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the middle for the win.
Unbelievable! Reggie hits the three with 7/10 of a second to go.
Kevin Ollie brings it up. Throws it across. Miller for Gray. Oh, he backed it in. He backed it in. And the game is tied. We're going to overtime. Pacers down three. Halliburton's got the ball. Halliburton rises up. Goodness.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media.
And Greg loves Susie.